Hello, 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 and welcome to an episode of Bravo. We're Black, and today I know Aaron's gonna get me, because we have our mute, our friend, our baby who has been with us for literally, I feel like it was honestly the same year we launched.
Yeah.
So you've been with us like 5 years now at this point, Francisco. Um, I just I'm so happy that like you're here today because we connect on so many different things, whether it's pop culture. Honestly, when it comes to like beauty recs, skincare recs, nail designs, I mean, we go to the same like concerts, but in different cities. Like we are it's more than a social media friendship, which I absolutely love because so many people that you hear on here, I talk to like IRL. So welcome to the pod, the main pod, Francisco. And
Thank you so much.
we're
Thank
just gonna
you.
get into it. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you, Kaya? Thank you so much for having me on. Like you said, I have been listening to you guys since you guys started back in 2020. It is really interesting to see the rabbit hole that I kind of fell through because I I didn't really watch Bravo growing up, so I had to like catch up while I was in college and had the ability to like, on Hulu be able to binge watch all the shows. So the only show that I was kind of listening to at the time was Danny Pellegrino. And I believe that he had either Monty on or Hannah Aaron Brown. And then
Love
they
both.
and then they were on each other's podcast. And that's kind of how I found a lot of you guys was like once I listened to Monty, then it was like Monty, you, Taria, the Brooke
Yes.
Ashley. I like Taria has introduced me to so many people.
Yes, shout out to We Go podcast. Like
Yes.
we always, I feel like especially the creators of color, we always have our names in each other's mouths, but in a
Mhm.
positive way, honey, because you just got to get that promotion out there. And it
Yeah.
doesn't matter like what it is. I mean, like when we get our ad, you're one of the first people to comment. Like
Mhm.
when we are trying something new, we're like, okay, go follow us on this. You're one of the first people to follow. When we're just posting like shit posting, you're still like, supporting us. You
Mhm.
support women and gays rights and wrongs. And that's just what we need, especially in this year with everything going on.
Yeah, and I think that especially you providing a little bit of the behind the scenes, like when it comes to a content creator, really emphasizing how important, like even just like commenting, even if you're not really going to be doing much more than that, but just like any sort of
Yeah.
engagement to get that, post
Yeah.
going. And it's the algorithm is such a tricky, thing to
Right.
navigate sometimes.
The thing is, you are like on Instagram, you're very mysterious, demure.
Yeah.
I'm blessed to be in your close friends. You're
Yes.
blessed to be my close friend.
Yes.
I haven't really spent a lot of time on my personal because I'm really trying to get BWB like on the spot and you
Mhm.
guys, you see that coming into fruition. But on TikTok, honey, you have so many different like side quests and things that you do, whether it is like skincare reviews, whether it's you this plant era that you're in. I mean, you're doing so much that I love it because that's kind of like what I want to do. Like, yes, I want people to come here for like the pop culture takes and the TV shows, but I also want you guys to know of like about the products that I can't like live without and not just because I'm being paid for it or anything, but literally just because I like to yap and I like to talk about things and
Yeah.
see, does this work for you? Did this make you Ashley? Did you like is this for dry skin, oily skin? Like what is this about?
Yeah.
So your TikTok is like one of my fave TikToks to follow.
Okay.
So I feel like you need to keep doing that, especially you'll go viral and then like a lot of people are like in the comments talking about the product you're talking about. And I'm like, I've never heard of this. So of course I learned from Francisco.
No, thank you so much for that. Yeah, I when I posted that plant TikTok, I was like, I'm just, following the Charlie XCX, girl so confusing trend. And then that one really picked up steam. And then I was like, damn it, like now I gotta
You
do
gotta have
plant
a
TikTok.
follow-up.
Yeah. So then it's like now I gotta keep doing plants, but it's like my plants only went so far because it's like they're plants, but and I also have cats, so I don't want to feed them any more plants. But yeah, I try. I think especially with TikTok, with Instagram specifically, with all the algorithm in terms of that, like I feel like you post stuff, and a lot of times, like people will see it like weeks later, and it's like, what is going on there. That's why, like, with TikTok, I feel like it really is just, like, the luck of the game sometimes where it's, like, whether you're gonna get the views or not, so it's, like, you might as well
It's
post
a
one thing.
lottery.
Yeah.
Like, on TikTok, you're able to show up as yourself, and I know
Mhm.
that, like, a lot of people are deleting TikTok right now. If that's your thing, I respect it. I understand that there is some concern around it. I mean, TikTok never really fucked with me like that. Like, some people go viral, but I don't really have a lot of followers on TikTok. I'm more of a spectator, and I'll just put, myself out there just to say that I have one. So I respect people who are leaving the platform, but as for me, I feel like I'm gonna stay on the platform because the government already knows everything about me. Like when they introduce iPhones, they have my fingerprint. They have my social security number. They have my facial scan every single like 3 seconds. I'm opening, my phone. Facebook already. Like sometimes you have to, especially when you're making money off of it. Sometimes you have to upload your ID to verify you are who you are. So it's like they already know everything about me. They're already watching me. They're gonna be bored. So, I'm gonna stay on TikTok. Are you staying on TikTok, or do you feel like you're gonna delete it, move to another platform? How do you feel about it? Because you are a TikTok, like, not only user, but, like, consumer too.
I think TikTok is such a fascinating platform, but I think what is happening in the past few days is just the your FYP is just so scatterbrained that I think that that's part of the reason why people are also leaving. Like, yes, in addition to all that Oracle or whatever whoever is
Mhm.
controlling it now, like I think just like we can like it's fascinating to see like how quick we can see like this isn't my for you page, like this is not matching up with things that like normally you would
Yeah.
present to me, so people are
Mhm.
starting to realize that like I'm scrolling like time and time again being like, "You're showing me stupid stuff that I don't wanna see," like or it's like stuff from November that I'm like, "We're almost at the beginning of February, like, why are you, like, completely taking out the last few months and just being like, 'This is no longer here,'" you know?
Mhm.
So it's so
A lot
weird.
of people, like you said, people build their algorithm brick by brick.
Mhm.
So, like, everything finds you, and it finds you usually, like, on time for people who are
Yeah.
on TikTok a lot. Me, that's literally common. Like, you'll see I'll like something of yours, and it'll
Mhm.
be from months ago
Yeah.
because I'm just, like, now seeing it. But
Mhm.
I learned that, like, it's because I'm not on TikTok as much as I'm on, like, an Instagram or something.
Right. See, and I
So,
think
like, people that are on TikTok a lot, they're saying, "My FYP is no longer my FYP." Like, what the hell is going on? And also, they're talking about, like, gender identity and, like, the terms and conditions and stuff like that. I can understand how that can be alarming for some people, but, for some other people, they just gonna build that algorithm back up and continue to go. I I also want to, for people who feel like people should delete TikTok, I wanna say that a lot of people are monetized on TikTok that have never been able to be monetized just from being themselves. And the TikTok creator program is kind of unlike a lot of different platforms creator programs because Instagram, I love Instagram. Instagram is my girl. Instagram is how I have been able to even like do anything and meet you wonderful people and promote my podcast and stuff like that. But Instagram for me does not bring in money through like a creator program like people are able to through TikTok or anything. So I feel like if it works for you and if you like it, keep your TikTok, keep posting, especially if you're making money off of it. And me, I'm an Instagram girly. I get brand deals off there. Threads. I'm really into threads. If you guys are leaving TikTok, please go on threads because I'm like always on threads. Literally, I tried to say that I was like asleep the other day when someone was like, "Hey, I texted you, you need to text me back." And I'm like, I was asleep. And then they showed me that like I threaded something after they texted me. And it was literally me saying that I was afraid of juggalos when I was in high school. I'm like, why did I have to like I'm just like threading things because it's like my Twitter. So if you're looking for somewhere else, I would say really go to Threads because it's really fun on Threads. You can build your algorithm brick by brick on Threads too, find your people on there.
Right.
And now Facebook, especially if you're into like monetization or trying to get into monetization, Facebook will is different in the way that like they'll tell you, okay, turn into a professional. You have a professional dashboard. You need to post X amount of reels. get X amount of followers, and we will start pushing your content. Facebook kind of holds your hand, and that's what I'm finding, which is why I told people if you can, please follow the Bravo Well Black page on Facebook. And this is for people who don't even have like a lot of followers. Like, for example, I've had a Facebook page, but we don't really post there. You can just turn it to where, if you post on Instagram, it'll automatically post on Facebook. But I've been logging in on Facebook and I had like 2K followers, which people can get like 2,000 friends. That's just very easy. You can just add someone as your friend. And I had like a video talked about Stranger Things, about how they use the song Purple Rain on their finale. And I got like 50,000 views off that just because I've been following what Facebook said. So you don't even have to have a lot of followers on Facebook to start really taking off on there and also getting monetized, because that one video, it made me $14. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but
That's
when like if you know about social media, $14 off one 2 second, like 2 second post. Like I was like, I love this. They played Prince Purple Rain on the finale of Stranger Things. Then it's about like, it shows it to other people who are into the show and you really build community. So if you're trying to get monetized and you don't know how to get a bunch of followers, you don't need a bunch of followers. You just need to show up on Facebook and do whatever they say. So that's just like a tip for people who are like me and Francisco, who love to post about different things. And that's also another thing on Facebook. You don't need a niche. If you want to talk about Stranger Things, you can talk about Stranger Things. I posted a video about my Kendrick, shout out to Kendrick, bought me a cup for my birthday. And I posted this to Instagram stories and it lights up every 30 minutes to tell me to like take a drink,
yeah,
or it'll track how much I'm drinking throughout the day. And you can go on the app and it says that. I posted about that on Facebook. That got 70,000 views and I was still at like 3K followers. And now it's like a month later, I'm at 7K followers. I'm treating it the same way that I would treat like an Instagram or a TikTok, and I see the payoff without having a bunch of followers. So that is just some tips for the girls and gays out there who want to, post on social media either as like a casual poster or someone who wants to make money.
yeah, I know that makes a lot of sense because I feel like obviously, TikTok's algorithm is insane when it comes to your For You page, but I feel like Meta and Facebook has an equally, good algorithm or like however they're pushing it out because it's like I will get, previews to suggested groups or like suggested things that,
Right.
may pique my interest that it's like they find ways just to be able to show you like one single thing. Like you said,
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be like a complete niche, but it's like you picked up the Stranger Things. I'm sure it came up on people who love
Yep.
Stranger Things that it's like that one
Mhm.
singular thing is now in somebody else's feed, so that makes a lot of sense. And I do try to go on Threads. I still need to work on building my algorithm there. I've seen you, do events with Threads and do a lot of things with Threads. So I see how far like they've invited you a lot to several things that's so cool. And I do see Kendrick, Raven, a lot of these people that were previously on Twitter. That's where
Yeah.
I feel like I saw a lot of you guys, but it's like Twitter now is just like a crazy landscape. Like I really have to like sort through a lot of the noise, but it's like some of the jokes on Twitter are like still so funny that it's like it's hard
Yeah.
to quit it, And I don't call it X. I still
No.
call it Twitter. I yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I call it Twitter too, and a lot of people like we get an influx. Anytime Elon does something, there's
Yeah.
usually like an influx, and they're like, "I'm a Twitter refugee," and I'm like, "Welcome."
Yeah.
I know that it's not like Twitter, like I see people posting jokes from Twitter on
Yeah.
Threads, and I'm like, "Thank you for your service," because 'cause I'm not on Twitter like that. And I just hope that, people are able to migrate over and it gets funnier and funnier. I do know that there is something coming out soon that I can't speak on, that on Threads, you will be able to officially get on there and there will be a feature that allows you to connect with people like-minded people. Not like-minded as in, like a cult thing, but
Yeah.
just like, "Hey, I wanna know bitches who are talking about skincare." Like, I wanna know bitches
Yeah.
talking about Real Housewives. I wanna know Like, you're gonna be able to really, like, build your algorithm in a way that you haven't before, so they're gonna launch that very soon. You didn't hear it here, don't tell nobody. But if you see me talking about it, interact with
Yeah.
it, please.
Of course. Yes, no, and I think that's what I liked about Threads from what I saw, where it's like you're posting into this general thread or consensus that is all about that one thing. So in a way, it's kind of like going through a hashtag, but I think it's set up a lot better.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel like it's like a mix of it's like a mix of what Twitter used to be, but also a little bit of Reddit because then you can join these different forums. It's like I'm in Marvel threads, I'm in, content creator threads, I'm in skincare threads, I'm in so many different and then you're able to just be like, I want to turn my brain off for today. I don't want to hear about no one's problems. All I want to hear about is stuff related to Bravo. And then you
Mhm.
can just go on Bravo threads and then your whole day you can just spend there and disconnect. So I really
Yeah.
love that. Speaking of Bravo, we have some things to talk about, honey, and that is
Yeah.
what you are here for. This is a special edition of the Bravo episode. Obviously, you guys know the podcast has been changing up a little bit because I used to do Bravo on Saturdays only. But now it's just like they have so much content. I don't have the time to just put everything on Saturday. I mean, we have Salt Lake City, we have Potomac, we have Married to Medicine, we have Vanderpump Pools, we have Southern Charm, we have the Valley Perch Style. We have just like so much that I will be talking about everything when we talk about everything. And then there's the non-Bravo stuff that I'm talking about. Me and Raven are doing Tell Me Lies. Me and Jay are doing Industry. I mean, me and Kendrick are doing everything. And then Aaron, whenever Aaron feels like coming in, he'll come and talk about whatever the hell he wants to talk about. So the podcast is changing, but it's for the better because I'm able to control it more than I was before. As you guys know, I left my network, and since then, it's just literally been like, fantastic, like, just going up and up, so I just wanna tell everyone, if you're scared to, like, leave a job or, do something different, try something different, or you feel like something is holding you back, it probably is, and you are okay on your own because I was so scared to just be an independent creator, and once I did it and figured it out and really just sat down and did the work, I have been y'all didn't y'all see me. I've been to New York twice, went to my first Broadway show. I went to the Tell Me Lies premiere. Obviously, I went to BravoCon. I mean, the girl has been girling. And I was trying to see Fransisco when I was in Nevada because it was the government shutdown and I didn't know what the hell I was going to do in Nevada for 6 days. But obviously, you weren't in Vegas. You live in a different part. So I forgive you.
Yeah, no, I live Northern Nevada. I live up by Tahoe, so people just assume that because we live in Nevada, it's like
Right. I
a
thought it
hop,
was
skip,
just
and a
Vegas.
jump. Yeah, but Vegas is still like 7 hours away, which is
Oh my
insane. Like,
God.
it's closer for people from LA to go to Vegas than it is for me. But,
That's
like, yeah,
Is it cold there? Are y'all
yeah.
is it
So
snowing? Like, what is the landscape?
well, it's very similar to Salt Lake City. So, like, when I see the previews or like the intros to Salt Lake City, it's very much like that. We're surrounded by mountains and they're usually snow capped. We don't get a lot of snow here, but it's like we get all 4 seasons usually. We're
Yeah.
just waiting on some actual snow. We haven't had snow this winter season, but yeah,
I mean,
it's
it seems like y'all are lucky because meanwhile in the South, people are like digging themselves
yeah.
out of the snow, and I'm sending my love to people in the South that I hope that all your lights are on. I hope that you are able to go to work. That is like very important. I hope that you got enough food and everything. So I hope that, this storm is out of the way and the sun come out tomorrow like any child. So let's get into Potomac, which has been I don't know if this is some people's, like, first season watching Potomac. I don't know if it's some people, like, they only watch Potomac or some people are just delusional, but for me, and I don't know about you, I wanna know your opinion, you don't have to worry if it's different from mine, I'm not gonna get you, but I just feel like this was a fun, hilarious season, especially with how it ended and this trip. What do you
Yes. Yes. No, I think that this was Potomac, one of Potomac's better seasons in the last few seasons. I think that even like Salt Lake City, it gets to a point where we're just doing the same thing over and over. Like, even though the entire season was about Stacy and Angel, like they still managed to have some fun moments, or at least like people were unintentionally funny that it kind of broke it up. Because then when it's not like that, it's just hard to constantly be talking about the same thing over and over. But
Yeah.
overall, this season was, I mean, I I don't know, like, I feel like in the end, it to me felt like a little bit of a slap on the wrist for Giselle, like, just, like, between, like, either not getting first chair at the reunion or getting, like, really bad accommodations, like, I do feel like production played a huge part in it, and then in the end, they're like, "Okay, here's your 4 seasons," but it's like it's kind of like New York where it was like they purposely get a house that doesn't have enough rooms, but in this case, like, they have enough rooms or, like, close enough, but they're all, like, varying in whatever state they are, that it's like you're either sharing a bunk bed or you're sharing 2 small twin, beds, but it's like they're still gonna make you fuss and fight about it because that's the point.
Yeah, and it just makes for good TV. I will say, I mean, it's on record here that I was like, I don't know, get Angel out. But after this trip, and even though the trip was probably the worst trip in recent Bravo history, I think that this bought her another season for me. I would like to see her back. What about you?
I do, yes. I did look up her birthday because I was like, there's not
What
very
behavior
many
is this?
there's not very many of us, and I say us because we are Pisces, so there's
Oh
not very many of
Lord.
us. So she's I think her birthday was March 18th, so I think she's a Pisces is what I read online. But there's not very many of us. It would be her, Cynthia, and Kelly from Atlanta that are Pisces on the Bravo network because 'cause we're too emotional, and it
When she was like, I was crying all morning.
yeah,
You weren't, but now you're telling me she's a Pisces, I believe it then. It's just rough
yeah.
because it doesn't matter what she said, these girls are like, "Fuck you." Like,
Yeah, I don't think I felt this way since, like, seeing Kim Fields on Atlanta that one season where it's like, something just felt like it just seemed off. But like, I know that we're gonna get into the trip, but it's like, I think what happened wrong with the trip from the very beginning was the fact that she left before the women got there to go set up. So I think in her mind, she got home, got settled, got her kids to bed, and then was like, "Tomorrow we're gonna hang out with the girls," and, like, that's pretty much it, like, "I'll be back later," but it's
that's
like
the plan.
but I think in general, like, if you're going on a trip to with people and you're on the plane together, like, it feels more community, and I think that's why they were harping on so much being like, "You said we were gonna be together," because she did say they were gonna be together, and then she was like, "We're not gonna be together." And I was like, "Oh, this is too good."
There is some, like, theory to this. It might be like, I heard some people feel like at first it was Get Back, basically, that went wrong. Because I feel like, yeah, Angel's like, "All right, you know what? These bitches are coming to Colorado. They're gonna be" like, she wore her hat, like, she was staying on business, and her hat just progressively got bigger as the trip went on, and she's like, "These bitches are in my town. We're going to Kimosabe, and then we're going, more importantly, to Wonderland because I need to show this Wonderland advertisement. This is my business, and this is what's happening." And she did not expect for her to not know where to go. Like, this was so crazy. This last episode, you guys, you have already watched it. You know how I am. I'm commenting on the episode. We were talking about the episode together. Y'all saw what happened. Basically, after last week, she was like, "Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to go this way. Of
Too
course,
late.
I even if I don't
Too
like
late.
you, you should have running water, like,
Yeah.
at the very least. It's every American's right to have running water. Like, I did not mean for it to be that bad. And I talked to the house owners and I thought that you did. She got cussed out. Giselle, everybody was like, girl, fuck you. Like, there's no running water. We're going to Four Seasons. Um, she decides that she's going to tell them that she'll be with them at the Four Seasons. She does not stay with them at the Four Seasons. She, in fact, not only doesn't stay there, she goes home never to be heard from again. The next day, she's like, "Okay, it's time to go to Wonderland." The next day, we also are in a place where, I love Ashley, and I know that y'all please. I just love Ashley Darby. That's my toxic trait. But the reason I love her is that she was like, "Okay, we're here. We had to go get our bags, but me and Jazzy, we're still gonna go out." Like they still went out. They were like having fun. The next day comes around. Angel is, on the way, and she's like, "I'm on the way. We're gonna have a good time at Wonderland." But the key thing is you cannot have an excursion and a flight no time near each other. So, like, that was crazy off bat. That is like everything was going wrong, but that's where it went wrong at first. You can't plan an excursion the day that people have to fly out. And people are flying out at different times. And you gotta be at the airport. Like, obviously, these people they travel different than us. But either way, you have to be at the airport on time when your flight is about to leave. Period. Private, public, first class, like it don't matter on top of the plane, you have to be at these damn airports. So they are just driving around, and for some reason, I think what her excuse was is that at Wonderland, there are different ways. They're supposed to go fly fishing, obviously, but there are different areas where you can fly fish for a group of people. And she's like, okay, so since we have a larger group, we need to be in a different area. And unfortunately, she has not been in that area where they are setting up everything because we saw it. It's there. Like you can fly fish, you can, do all that outside stuff. Like Wonderland is a thing. It had a great rating before, and we'll get into that. It had a great rating before the episode because I don't like when people do what they're doing to her. If you look on the website, it's been no, people have nothing but positive things to say. And we also saw the chefs that she had out there. Her team was cooking, like they were like ready for the girls, ready for Angel, and ready to rock and roll. Unfortunately, Angel not only didn't stay at the Four Seasons, but she's not riding with them to the excursion. It's like she's completely separated during this entire trip, which is terrible, but also hilarious to me because they have a tracker and the editors for Potomac are the most shady editors on the planet, complimentary. They have a tracker, and she's, like, an hour away from the girls, and the girls are, like, an hour behind her, and
Uh,
she's going the wrong way, and at one point, the GPS isn't even working. She's going by c the stars and, like, coordinates, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? And then every time they put up that clock, they're like, T minus 1 hour until Monique's flight, T minus 2 hours until this
yeah.
person's flight. It is just pure chaos. And at the end of the day, she just did not know where she was supposed to be going, and she's driving on her own. Not only should she have like mapped this out the day before and maybe even did a practice run, but she should have someone with like, where is Bobby? Like, so where's someone who knows directions? Like or have someone that works at Wonderland escort you and the ladies together to your, excursion because this is something that you're trying to advertise. That's the entire reason that we're going to Colorado. That's the entire reason that you even are on Potomac. You gotta go and you gotta put this stuff on social media and you gotta make sure everything is A1 so other people who see the show can go and they can patronize your business. Unfortunately, we didn't even get to see her business. What did you think about this entire thing?
I think that unfortunately what probably happened was Angel was really into the details. Like it almost felt like she like broke each day up like half day, like this is what we're going to be doing, this is what we're going to be doing, but she never kind of stepped back to see how it was going to flow and how it's going to progress and like how are we going to get from point A to point B. Because like you mentioned, like it's just and it's just so much driving, like, back and forth, like, an hour is not a lot of time, but, like, having to constantly go back and forth an hour is a lot of time. I think this whole situation would be so much different if they were, like, max half an hour either way, like, that could be, like, with traffic, like, 20 minutes could be 30 minutes, like, it's a lot more reasonable, but once you're adding 2, 3 hours, that's, like it's so much time, and I think what probably also happened was I don't know if you've ever try to give your address to someone, like, you living in an apartment. Sometimes, like,
Yeah.
the Apple Maps dot is gonna be different from where you are, and I feel like
Mhm.
that sometimes happen, especially in rural places in the state. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think Apple Maps is gonna know where the best fly fishing, the drop off little area because 'cause you're going to a river. You're not going, like, yeah, they she did mention that there's gonna be a cabin with bathrooms and stuff, but I think ultimately, like, you're still having to find, like, this really obscure entrance to maybe go down to the water, but it's like, unless you're going there often, you're not gonna really know what's going on. But like you said, it's gonna be a really memorable trip. It's gonna be one of the worst trips, but, really great. But I also didn't like I see it both ways when it comes to Giselle's frustration and anger towards
Mhm.
Angel. But wasn't it like a 4-hour drive in the Bahamas, wherever they went from or was it Wendy's trip for Wendy's birthday, where they
Mhm.
still had to travel like hours in a car, where it's like, it's not like the first time they've had to drive far to get
Mhm.
to wherever they're going, but to have that be your daily activities is just insane. And to plan something before having to fly out, like, you should already have your airport clothes on, like, the moment that you wake up, like, that is a day, like, of
Right.
just getting ready to go to the airport, like
Like, you could do something light, like, "Okay, we're
yeah,
gonna have brunch before we send
yeah,
you off." But that's not the time to do your prime time, your main thing.
yeah,
Like, absolutely not. Me personally, okay, as soon as y'all land, let's go to Wonderland because I need this to be recorded and I need this to be on the show. But I also, want everything seeing how the whole trip went from the first day. It's like you guys are not staying with me, and I thought that was a gag. Like, I love that gag because you put me through hell this entire season. You told me that I was getting evicted. It's now going to look like I got evicted on camera, so I got something for that ass. But it just went too far when they didn't have the water, and
yeah.
also when they went to her house and she's like, "It's 7:30. It's time for y'all to leave." It was like, no, you can't do this when you're new and you're with a group of girls and the group of girls is staying an hour away from you in a place that also doesn't really have a lot of cell service. Like, obviously production is there. Production is going to make
Yeah,
sure that these women are safe, but there's only so much blaming on production that she can do because if you guys watched the after show, she was trying to explain how this was originally like a couples trip, and only
mhm.
couples were supposed to be on there, and then she changed it to a girls trip. But once you changed it to a girls trip, you should have changed everything about it, especially knowing how these girls are and how you are in hot water. Um,
Yeah,
I
I feel like she should have sorry, not to
no,
cut
go
you off,
ahead.
but
That's that.
I feel like she should have switched the Kimosabi for the Wonderland, where she could have
Right.
done, like, the first day they get there, they go have that really awkward, scene with Bobby and his friends, and then have dinner, and then the following day do all of the excursions because it's a full day thing to do, like, to be out in, the sun and the
Yeah,
nature and wilderness and whatnot,
yeah,
and then charter the plane at night and then fly to Aspen and then wake up and go to Kimosabe, and you're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go shopping, and then we'll head to the airport after this." And at
right,
least you could probably fly out of Aspen. I don't know the logistics of airports, but it's like, at least, like, just making that switch, I think, would have been a lot better. Because then, A, you're not in a house with no water, at least you're, somewhere else with
right.
some water, you know?
Exactly. And then it's just like I don't know who she talked to once she realize like what they had to go through with the house because as soon as I would have learned that you guys weren't able to use water, I would be like, all right, I was fucking with y'all, but I'm sorry. So
Yeah.
everything else, y'all can go to the Four Seasons. I'm gonna come meet y'all. I'm gonna make sure that we get to this together. Um, but she didn't do that, and then also, it's also the GPS tracking. She has to go down to, like, reading coordinates, and she's going in woods, and they're like, "This is not the right place," and she's having to have and Kiana I lo shout out to Kiana. Not only does she have a nasty mug, like, y'all might hate
Like,
her, but
when
she's
she turned
muggy.
yeah,
She's muggy, like,
yeah.
it's muggy. But she's also a great friend because she is trying to get her like she's like, Yeah, you can back up. You can back up. She's trying to not freak out, not make
Mhm.
the situation worse. She's like, "Well, no, if Angel said we're going here, we're going here." Like she's such a good friend for that, but she know that Angel done fucked up. And like she said in the confessional, she's like, "But I'm sick beside a child." And I love her, like, as a friend. It's just really unfortunate that we didn't get to see them, you know, do the fly fishing, do what is it, horseback riding, whatever she offers there, because it would be nice to see, like, this is a Black woman that owns an outdoors excursion in Colorado in a, obviously, like, predominantly white space. And what sucks is that this was actually a really funny episode. They didn't get
Mm.
hurt. Like, obviously, they couldn't use water, but it made for amazing jokes because when the water did come on, it forced them to get together, like, "Huh, let's wash our
Yeah.
hands, girls." Like, even Stacy and Ashley were, like, joking with each other. They bounced off, they let it
Yeah.
roll off their back. It was really Giselle who just, like, made it, like, a huge thing, which she's a diva, so I expected that. But it made them a little bit closer together. Monique is just rolling with the punches. I love how Monique came in this season, light and refreshed and all that. So it was just fun to watch them have to suffer because these are women who have never probably been without water for I don't know, a long time. Obviously at least for 10 years. Um and I think that it was just funny to watch for the audience, and the audience that I guess I don't know why there's teams. Like there's like now a team Angel versus like the rest of the ladies basically. And it shouldn't be like that because we just had like just a really funny trip that went wrong. They're okay. No one got hurt. No one had to go to the hospital. No one got disrespected. None of the husbands stepped in and were like it was just really funny. Like I had fun the entire time and it was just at their expense. So now there are people that are literally review bombing Wonderland, and you guys need to fucking stop. I know it's no one that listens
Oh,
to
it's
this
not,
platform.
no.
I know it's nobody that follow me because I will get the belt, BTA, belt to ass. Don't do that. That's not cute. That's not funny. And it's not necessary. Did you not laugh your ass off when you saw these women say, "What? We're not staying with you?" And then say, "What? We don't have any water." And then say, "Fuck you, Angel. We're going to the Four Seasons." And then have to drink a gas station margarita. And Wendy's like, "I love a gas station margarita." Like, it was just such an interesting few episodes at the end of an interesting season. So for you guys to get on there and review bomb it as if and we didn't even see them go to the place. We didn't see them go to Wonderland. So there's no reason for you to get on there and review bomb this girl's business. It's like not okay. It's not funny. It's not cool. And it's loser behavior. It's fucking loser behavior. Stop that shit. Like that's weird. I hate when people do that shit, especially when they didn't actually go to the place on there. Like, that is wild to me.
Yeah, I think that, uh, the point of the girls' trip is to ultimately trauma bond in some way or another. Like, whatever flight is or fight they're gonna get into is gonna be explosive. There's gonna be something that's gonna ultimately trauma bond them. So, like you mentioned, I think that Angel should get another season because they've all gone through that horrific trip together that, like, going into next season, I wonder what the dynamic will be like. I hope that Angel finds her footing in this because, like, I do appreciate her calmness in the mix because even though people call for, Cynthia, Crystal, like a lot of these, less explosive housewives because they're quote unquote boring, but it's like without that balance, you're just gonna be constantly having arguments like Wendy, Candace, and Giselle were having, where it's like it is always gonna go down to the gutter. And or like Angie and Lisa, like it's gonna be hard to recover. So at least having that more level-headed person really does hopefully make the group a lot less explosive. Like she should still be able to defend herself and say whatever she wants to say, but I do appreciate her energy in the mix. And ultimately, like it's like going on a bachelorette trip. Like, you never know what the accommodations are gonna be like. Like, you pray and hope that you get your own bathroom or your own bed, but it's like a lot of times you're either sharing a bed or like you're eating like really shitty food on the side of the road that it's like you just never know. But it's the fun. It's not like this is it like Beverly Hills where they're taking them, to Europe and all these places and they're just like not
Yeah,
doing anything to deserve it. Like, at least with Potomac, they're in this house when they're running water, but they're giving us a funny show, like,
exactly. And you know that this is gonna be great TV
yeah.
regardless.
Yeah, but it's really interesting to see the way that Giselle falls into the head sorority leader when it comes to the group. It's like Monique coming back, I was really surprised to see kind of what everyone was saying was at the end of the day, she just wanted to be liked by Giselle. And it's like, that's just how it feels like. As long as the target isn't on your back, Giselle could go for anybody else. And we've seen that with Wendy. Like, Wendy has now fallen into that. And it's like, no. So I'm ecstatic to see when Karen comes back how that will ultimately play because I feel like there has been enough like quote unquote betrayal or bad talking about one another that it's going to be really fascinating to see, oh, like that's how you really think about me, so like now you're going to be a little bit more guarded or at least a little bit more defensive in a lot of these group dynamics. So I'm really excited for Karen's episode and the reunion just to see what's going to be happening because from what people say, Wendy and Karen are going to get into it, and it's like that was such a great reunion. Just like the ability to be so free talking about Karen and her truth, her drunk truth, her cheating truth, all of the
Mm,
truth, and then her not being able to be there to shut anything down. I was like, this is like we
we
haven't
can
seen
speak
anything.
freely because
Yes.
she's literally in
And like a lot of these housewives that don't have a whole lot going on in their personal lives, anybody but me, that it's like, it's so easy. Like, yeah, let's jump on Karen right now at this reunion because it's like, what else are we going to talk about? And then I'll figure it out later when she sees the episode, like we just got to at least make it through today and collect the check.
Yeah, well, the thing is, we do have a couple of things to talk about because it is, most of the season was a lot of visceral reaction to Stacy, who
Yeah.
I love her. Like,
Yeah.
she is just America's sweetheart. How do you feel about Stacy?
I haven't been enamored with a housewife like Stacey in a while. Like the way that like ultimately, I think that I would just be like, "Hey, TJ and I maybe had an arrangement, maybe not." Like, I like not necessarily cop to it, but I think that once she like clears it up like fully, because like now they're just like getting her on like the most smallest minuscule things. Like it's the minutia and the way that she's saying things when it comes to like whether Timo was on travel or he was flying in. But like if my man is coming home on a certain day, like, I am gonna wait for him to get
Right.
home, like, "I'm sorry that I can't make it to going to hang out with you," because I think that's what it was, like, they were having dinner with Tia
Yeah,
and that
so
right?
Tia asked if Timo wanted to come to basically like a couple's
Right.
dinner or whatever. And Timo he's in and out in the first place. But also you have to understand that this dude is just getting in front of the cameras. This is his first time actually like trying to really hang around the group. So I don't even think even if he was there that he would want to go to dinner on a double date or not even a triple date with these women because he is going to be guarded. They are, he's heard everything that they've said about his wife or ex-wife and, and that's a slip of the tongue. Like,
Yeah.
were y'all divorced or like what's going on? Like who is going to want to come to a triple date dinner when you're just getting to know these women and you know that the first thing that they have on their brain is the whole TJ situation and your divorce? Is that something that you're going to want to talk about? No. So, a lot of the whole show and honestly, a little bit of that get back that Angel was getting is her. I remember when she first came on the show and they had that first event and they were talking about Stacey's breath and Angel was like, "It is quite tart." Oh, what's tart now, Angel? Because listen,
The smell of the sewer and the water or that bathroom.
listen, you had your little laugh, and now
Yeah.
Stacey's having her laugh, and I would have literally gotten her ass about that, but she didn't get to see that. But I will get her ass in the reunion about that because what you talking about? You thought that that was funny? Look how you're. your season ended. Not only do we think that you got evicted, but also, we never saw Wonderland, which was your entire point of being on this freaking show. I
But we
do
know what we did see was, Shio by Stacy and her edibles.
we sure did. She's like, I know that this might not be the time, but I'm also a Nigerian." She just sends me in so many different ways. I've never sat down and literally went through a host QVC clips. Like, that's something that you have to be a special kind of person, a special kind of woman. And even when she argues with the women, the way that she argues back using Toodle Doo in a serious argument,
Yeah, no,
what a
she
woman.
I love QVC. I watch QVC often. I just love the it's like TikTok, but like IRL. Obviously, TikTok now is just like shopping of a whole bunch of things,
Yeah.
but it's like I love the ability of having to like fill. It's like improv almost, like having to fill the time with like descriptive words. Like look at the length, look at the drama, like the way that she speaks, the way that she holds her hands. Like I love the way that she carries herself. It's like
Yes.
Stacey is a fascinating housewife, and I think that that is why Giselle does not like it because
Take some away for the spotlight from her. It's like she's like the total opposite of her pretty much.
and I feel like if Giselle, like, would lean into just being more open, like or I don't know, because even when they were mentioning Monique having to miss her coffee date with her mom where they have the weekly conversation or the daily conversations, and Giselle saying that she doesn't talk to her mom that frequent, and she like, in the confessional, she said that they just have specific conversations about specific things, when we know at the end of the episode that they lost the will, the fight for her dad's will, that it's like, if you speak up about it, talk about a lot of these things that are happening, that it's like, it could happen to anybody,
It
like,
makes you more
people
relatable.
yeah, like, for like, when it comes to wills and, like, inheritance, like, that is such a touchy subject that people can relate to feeling like they were, scammed out of whatever they felt was theirs, and it's like,
That's
ultimately.
really sad too. Like, I hated to hear that. I did not think that shit was funny at all. I saw some people like celebrating that, but first of all, she lost her dad in such a heartbreaking, sudden, crazy way. We got to love, her relationship with her children, but we also loved anytime we got to see her dad. So it felt like he was kind of like our dad too. So obviously, seeing her have to lose him and then continue on and just deal with Jamal and like all this shit. And then to hear that someone can come along and take what is honestly, I feel like rightfully hers, that's really sad. And I hated to hear that. And I hope some way she can fight that. And it humanizes her more because I see her and Ashley's like friendship, but Ashley is also like she was trying to, talk to Angel and see what was going on. And Giselle was like, hey, no, like she kind of pulled her away, like, no, we're about to go and go to Kimosabe. So like Giselle needs to let her guard down a little bit more, because she is so funny. And
Mhm.
if she's unable to do that, I hope that they do make Karen full time again. I know a lot of people are saying that she needs to be a friend of if she's coming back, but I want Karen back fully in the mix because we're going to get a different Karen. You can't go to
To jail,
prison
yeah.
and continue even when we see this conversation, she's like, "Let's talk about my addiction," which we never see her clearly like plainly state that. Um, just in general, we're gonna get a different Karen. So seeing Giselle and Karen's friendship is always something that I adore because it's just that's fun shade. Like it's kind of like a Portia and Nene kind of thing, or like a Cynthia and Nene kind of thing. That's what they remind me of. So I want Karen back full time. Sue me. I'm just gonna say that. I can't wait for next week when we see the sit down, and I'm excited for this reunion because it's like we have to talk about Stacey and how they're getting on her all season and Timo and all that. I don't really care about TJ at this point. Like he's
Mhm.
gone. We knew what it was. We talk about obviously this whole thing with Angel throughout the season. It's her, oh, you'll get to know me, you'll get to know me, you'll get to know me.
I don't
Then
like fish.
she got evicted, and then we have the trip from hell, so we had to talk about that a lot. We had to talk about how Tia just turned on Stacy basically out of nowhere, and then we also have, like, a Jazzy versus Stacy thing. Then, obviously, Giselle's gonna be on everybody out. Like, there's so many things and so many different dynamics that we'll be talking about for the reunion. I can't wait for the reunion. Like, what do you wanna hear about the most when it comes to, um the upcoming episodes, which would be Karen's episode and then the reunion.
I wanna see the fight between Wendy and Karen. I think specifically that one, just because the way that Karen navigated Wendy when she first came onto the show and was like, "I know her, but I don't know her. Like, I don't know her."
Mhm.
And Wendy would be like, "You know me, Karen," and it's like, "No, I like like that," and then I I think that's why these shows are so like they pull on your heartstrings in all so many different ways because it's like I really enjoyed Wendy at the very beginning. I felt bad for her when Robin and Giselle were just so mean to her and Ashley. And then like her and Candace were a cute duo. And then like this season was like spectacular. Like other than her blowing up on Stacy at the or no, either this episode or the episode before when they're in the vehicle, I'm
Mhm.
like, "You were having such a great, season. You look amazing." Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be, like, I just love these women. Like, and it's such a refreshing season coming off of Mia, which we have not even, like, gotten into, thought about, talked about. It's just her online. We just hear about her and Bobby Valentino and all these different things online, and I'm like, I do not miss it at all. Because with Mia, it was just at first I'm like, give Mia a chance. Stop saying it's love and hip hop. But she really showed her ass and she embarrassed me. So Mia, get please. I think that this cast works so
yeah,
like amazingly. And it also it gave us a chance to see how Giselle would operate without Robin
yeah,
too.
and
And
Karen.
so seeing her and Wendy be able to be friend well, their version of friends was interesting. And I just would like to appeal to the judge. Wendy looked damn good all season.
Yeah.
So if you could just please like take that into consideration when you guys are talking about her case because she looked so good all season, and if you saw the reunion looks, Wendy is just breathtaking, and now I understand.
Well, that's why I'm like, I really hope that they take into consideration that conversation that she had with her mom and her sister. Like, it is so tragic to see how they really gang up on her 2 against 1, that it
Mhm.
always feels like but I mean, I think it's very, like, um, immigrant coded that it's like nothing will ever
Yeah,
be good enough. Like, there's always something to improve on, something
yeah.
to be criticized, like, nothing can ever be good enough, and to feel like that your entire life and to finally be like, "Damn, like, let me figure" like,
Mhm. And it's
everyone
amplified by being on a show.
yeah. 'Cause, like, ultimately, I know that everyone is still up in arms about it, but it's like, I still do believe that Dorit's robberies were an insider job, whether she knew about it or not. I still feel like whatever was, like, ultimately, if she can do it and get away with it, I'm sure they were like, "Let's just, like, bump up the numbers a little bit." And, like, yes, I get that it affects everyone in terms of the area and the policy and how that works, but it's like, regardless of Wendy's actions, insurance companies are still raising their prices. They're
Right.
like, it's still gonna happen, but it's
Without
like
without anything. Like, they're still doing that shit. So, please.
like, so if you're gonna use that excuse, like, yeah, it's not the best, but it's like
I'm more offended by the way that everything was handled because you guys live together. Why do
yeah,
we have emails? That's more what I can't forget. However, every every confessional, every outfit,
so good.
seeing her in person at BravoCon was like seeing a goddess. Like,
And I bet she smells so good, like, she just looks like money, like, she just, like, I
I'm
love it.
telling you, it's like seeing these women, it was windy, but then also the Atlanta cast, it's just
Mm,
seeing them in person, I just felt ashy immediately. It was just they are so moisturized, they
yeah,
look like the Atlanta cast, I will say specifically, look like they do on TV, which is amazing. So, just please, just watch the episode, understand that when you are on TV, you have the feeling of trying to keep up with the Joneses, and she got caught up in that. So please, please.
yeah.
Okay.
And I sorry, one last thing, I do agree that we should have Karen back full time. I would want her full back. If they're gonna have Shannon Medore full time back on her show, I think that Karen should be. Yes, she, like Jen Shaw, denied culpability until the very last moment because it's like, you gotta do whatever you gotta do in a lot of these cases. Like,
And Jen
I
Shaw was literally scamming people's grannies. Karen
yeah,
didn't hurt nobody but herself, and she did not
yeah,
take no dog in her car with her either.
yeah. And didn't almost run over anyone's daughter, apparently. The way that they made it seem like that kills me every time, the way they made it seem like she was, like, ready to run her over. I'm like, "Oh my god."
It was like, was her daughter talking shit? Like, I don't know. Like, I want to know. I wanted that ring footage to come out so fucking bad. And if anyone has it, send it to me and I won't say anything. Me and
Yeah.
Francisco won't say anything. Um, let's get into like just ending it like the Valley Persian style.
Mhm.
Shah of the Sunset was my shit.
Okay.
I wasn't like a day one watcher. I actually think I binged them 2020 because I was like,
Okay.
all right, I don't have
Yeah.
anything else to do. I'm watching Bravo. Might as well keep up. Like I was watching the Kardashians. I'm not Kardashians. The Vanderpump Rules. I was like, okay, I'm done with Vanderpump Rules. Done with Housewives. Like, what are these Shaws talking about? And what I love about that, I love cultural shows, just like with Texacanas, like Mexican Dynasty, like Family Karma. I'm
Oh,
all
yeah.
into finding out about people's culture. So Shahs of Sunset, so good. Talked about the first few episodes with my girl Leah. You guys go and listen to that. This more recent episode, they went on a trip
Yeah.
already. And who do you like from the newbies? If you like anyone, and who
So
do you not really jive with?
So I am not a Shaw's watcher, but
Mhm.
I know that Shaw's is a very big staple in the Bravo pillars. It's one of like the more higher rated shows back when it was on. I know that towards the end it, ended on a little bit of a sour note with Mike and Paulina, I believe. I remember listening to a lot
Yeah,
of
you
recaps,
follow
like
what was kinda happening,
yes.
but you weren't a direct, like, watcher.
Right. And obviously, Reza being a great representation of, him and his husband, just like seeing a gay couple, like, on the valley with Zach and Benji. It's really, really cute to see. And I love the culture. I love the, switching up on languages. Like, I think that's what I like about Miami
Yep.
too. Like, once Marisol and Alexia start talking in
Once
Spanish,
them
like,
captions come in, I'm like,
yeah.
"Exactly, exactly, speak
uh,
that shit."
I don't know, it's just something in my brain that is so soothing, but I am really into Amir and Natasha. I believe Natasha is absolutely stunning. She
Yeah.
reminds me a lot of Georgina, Cristiano Ronaldo's wife. Like, I know that they're also,
Oh
like
my god.
they're
Yeah.
also in the hot seat right now. I know that Georgina posted at being at the Melania Trump premiere movie, whatever, so it's like, I know that they're, like, obviously not the best, but it's like
But besides that, like, I don't like her like that. I'm not
yeah.
like, but what do you think about that ring?
I I don't know, like, even her and Lauren Sanchez's rings, like, I feel like it gets to a point where it's really gaudy and it looks like it just doesn't look good where I feel like it could have been like, mounted differently. I don't know, like, maybe I just don't enjoy such a huge rock at that, like, carat size. Like, I don't but I also don't really pay attention to a lot of celebrity rings. Like, I think I would probably look at, like, I think Mariah Carey used to have, like, a yellow canary diamond, I think, or, like, you
I
know
I and I'm sorry, don't come for me, but Georgina's ring, I do not like, and
yeah,
Taylor Swift's ring, I'm sorry, it's too like, I understand you have the money. I get it. It's real. I can see it. But it's like you're gonna have a ring of that size and like the way that it's set, it's like it's off of your hand. I don't know. I get the notion of I walk around, with my it's so heavy. Like I get it, but at the same time, if you're gonna have such a big diamond, you can design it differently to kind of like maybe lower and blend it into because it's something that you're wearing every day. It just looks, for a lack of a better word, a little bit tacky, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's very gaudy. I think I would have opted for a smaller diamond, but maybe gone like a Lisa Barlow route and like done a blinged out band to go along with it,
Yeah.
where like it's taking a little bit more, real estate on your finger without it looking like, because it just looks like it's clinging onto your life because it's gonna fall off.
It gives, and we know it's not, but it gives, like, costume jewelry
Mhm.
when it's, like, the real thing, but okay, back to it. I
Shahs,
mean, it's relevant
yes.
because Persian style, Tanine, she was the one who had Gigi's ring, and she returned Gigi's ring, and Gigi was like, "This is not what I asked you to do."
And that
What do
was
you
like
think about that? Just
okay, so at first I was like, I feel like a repair should be the easiest part because you already have a majority of the ring done. It's just fixing whatever is off. But then I was thinking about it and I'm like, well, maybe that's why it's so difficult because you have to blend it, which she obviously didn't. We saw the before and after. But then it also kind of reminds me of like the time that I've gone to drop off my car to get a oil change, and I'm like, I'm gonna drop it off, and they're like, okay, well, we're gonna fit it in whenever we have time. Like, you can't just be expecting it to be done in an hour because you're gonna drop it off. So that's kind of how it felt, where it's like, well, Gigi's not really gonna pay me because it's gonna be free, so I'm gonna do everything else but that. But then like the fact that she was like,
it was
let
years
me
ago, I think.
yeah, and, like, the fact that she was like, "Let me call so and so, and they'll bring it right now." So it's like, oh, so you had it ready, you just didn't wanna give it to her, and that's where I was like, "Kinda weird."
Or would I feel like she kept that shit until filming? Like, she wasn't
Okay.
gonna give it to her, and she was like, "Oh, I know she's gonna bring it up, so let me get this done," and they did a rush job on it,
Yeah.
and as soon as she brought it up, she's like, "Look, don't worry, I got it," and brought it there.
Yeah, and I don't know, Sky just gives me a little bit of, like, Yolanda Hadid vibes where it's like,
Ooh,
it's gonna be, like, a little bit of, like, prim and proper and, like, what they find, like, classy versus not classy, especially when it comes to, like, Gigi and her, weed smoking,
yeah.
but I am I am appreciative of Gigi. Like, I know that I'm sure people hate on her for being a mom and being a stoner, but I'm also
I love
like,
her.
you see Beverly Hills that one weed dinner where they had like everyone had 1 milligram of weed, and I'm just like, what the fuck are like why are the people here if you're gonna be like not wanting to do it when we know for a fact that like you'd be getting high as fuck, but when the cameras are down, like you might as well just be like, yeah, this is who I am. Like I'm calming down. Like my kids are no like yes, there were kids around her at that one party, but it's like it's not like she was like, hey kid, you want like some of my joint? Like she was just like, oh shit,
And
and
we
like
also like, we didn't see them come out, so I
yeah.
guess Gigi was like, "Okay, so they're not out here, so
Yeah.
light up."
But yeah, I can see that Gigi is the show. Like, yes, her, Reza, and MJ are the pillars of the show, but like the entire
Gigi's the center. Like, everyone knows everyone through Gigi. I have a question. Do you want Gigi and and Reza Jax to hook up
I feel like they should just to
for the
because
plot?
like yes, because right now there's a lot of married couples, so like you really do need to have that enmeshment to continue in a way. And I feel like they would both be at least detached enough from it that it would just be able to be like hook up and like call it a day because like you
Especially Gigi.
and you can tell that Gigi knows that, like, he doesn't really wanna be with me, like, not because I have a kid, but it's like having a kid adds that extra layer where it's like he's not at that space in his life to be with someone with a kid, and she knows that, and, like, although he is like, "Yeah, like, you like, I like MILFs," but it's like, "When my baby is sick, like, are you gonna help me take care of him?" type of thing, you
Right.
know? But I do
And the
want
good
that.
thing about Gigi is that she's also not that serious either. She's gonna get married and getting an old. Like, this is her second or third marriage, so it's not that deep for her either. And I just think that they're the most beautiful people, like, on the
Yeah,
cast
no.
for me, and I just want them to kiss. And that's why I got so mad when Dennis' ugly ass came on there, and he's, like, at the table. I'm like, "Why are you here?"
Okay, but, like, that was so
Oh
good
my
of Gigi to show
god.
up, like,
It's so
looking so fucking good, and that little two-piece with her boobs out, like, you knew that she was dressed like, that was her Kristen Doty, like, green dress picking up my mail, like,
Yep.
she knew what she was doing putting on that, and she was like, "God, like, it's so hot," and it's like, "Yeah, but, like, you're also, like, half naked for a reason," and then for him to show up and she'd be like, "I invited him," I was like, "What is going on?"
Everyone at the table was like, "You knew he was coming?"
But it kinda reminds me of, like, on TikTok when girls go on and they say all the fucked up things that their boyfriends do, and then
Yep.
everyone starts because like, ultimately, that's what it was, like, "I've
Yep.
had enough whacking you, MJ and Reza can pick up the baton, and they're gonna
Yep.
keep going, and if
Yep.
somebody else wants to jump in because they know what fucked up shit you did to me, like, this
Get
is
him
gonna
again.
be" Yes. So it's like, it was so good that way that she did that, but it's like, I did feel bad for Reza because he was probably like, "Damn, like, I thought you were, like" a little bit better than that, and she was like, "No, like, I love
No,
that."
I'm
Like, yeah,
I loved seeing that. I didn't she kinda confused me though, as much as I love Gigi. She's like, "I brought him to get whacked, but also you guys have to understand he's gonna be around." So
yeah.
I'm like, which is it?" Like, what do you want us to do? And why didn't you at least let us know that he was coming?
Especially Adam, he was like, "This is my fucking birthday dinner," and, like, we're talking about sucking dick and cock, and it's like, "You did it at my birthday dinner." Like, he was Tati Westbrook. I was like I would have been so mad. I would have been like Heather Dubrow, like, "You can leave. Like, get up and get out. Like, what are you doing here?"
Yeah, like you had a drag queen bring my rainbow cake, and you guys are literally now taking and I don't even get like Adam does not get the spotlight
No.
enough or a lot at all. So like I love that we're diving into Reza's and Adam's relationship because now we're
Yeah.
picking up on them being married for 10 years, which in gay time
Mm.
that's literally an eternity. So they're talking about like their intimacy issues and like real things that they're facing as the married gay couple on the cast and we're celebrating his birthday, and it's supposed to be like at least a little bit about him, even though it's like
Mm.
Sky's trip. And then now we have this whole thing with MJ and Reza. They're talking about their relationship with Tommy, which is also another thing that is like really important to the plot and to this show in general. And then we have Dennis, the man, literally at the table. It's just so much going on, which makes me love it even more. Um, Especially because that the whole psychic I feel like every time someone gets like psychic readings, it makes me so like depressed and sad because it's like, damn, like they're bringing up things that you cannot Google about a person. They're, talking about Amir's, wife who passed
Yeah.
away and like that had me in shambles and just talking about how like, she approves of his wife, which I feel like uh he's not really like over her, which I can understand because she was taken away from him so young and they didn't expect that, but he's here he is still like he's still so affected by that 3 children in a marriage later. um and hopefully maybe that brought him a little bit of closure, but I don't really know if it did. It might have even made him think about her even more because it's like, wow, she could have been like this could have been us. And like that's why I also feel bad for Natasha because it's like, damn, that's a lot to live with.
Yeah. I kind of going back to what you mentioned with Potomac, and the whole Timmy situation, it's like you have that kind of going on behind the scenes, but then you're seeing it with Tommy and MJ, where he's like purposely being like, I am not going anywhere around that group. You can go,
Mhm.
those are your friends, but like I'm choosing not to do that. And I feel like that really probably pushed MJ into that divorce because it really is difficult to be with someone who in a way is making you choose between your friends who you have known for more than like over half of the time that you've been alive, or like your marriage. And it's like your marriage where he's already calling you a dumbass, where it's like it's very difficult. And I think that he obviously has a right to feel the way that he does, but it also seems like I don't know because I like obviously being like intubated or whatever, like, in a hospital, like, trying to give birth is really hard, but, like, if no one goes to visit you, it is difficult, but I also don't know the rules behind a lot of the hospitals because you know that, like, especially during COVID times, like, you could only have 1 other person or, like, where they constrict how many
Yeah.
people could be in a room, then it's like, yeah, we could be taking turns, but it also seems like Tommy would be like, "I'm gonna be here regardless," so then it's like, how do you want people to go visit you if maybe they can't? I don't know.
Yeah, I felt like every time MJ would say something, it's completely justified, and I totally understand where Tommy is coming from because he had to watch this. He was there, like, he was at a point where you might have to choose your child or your wife, and I understand him holding a grudge, but it could I'm not gonna say once MJ got over it, then he should have got over it. No, you can feel a way, but when it comes down to this, if this was just regular life, that's gonna be heavy on your marriage, sure. But you're now this is your job. You are filming a show with these people. So you're not coming around because you're not fucking with my best friend. Oh, and even Gigi didn't even really do anything to him, and he's not fucking with Gigi like that. So you're not coming around those two, but then you're also not coming around the new people. So I just look like a single
Yeah,
mom, basically. Like, and then we see them and they're dynamic on their own. It's not any better.
yeah. I There was a book that I read in book club, and it was like this woman who was like in this really bad marriage, and she was like, I stopped going out because every time I would go out, they would always ask me where my husband was, and I never knew where he was. So like, I didn't know what to respond to people, so I just stayed home, so people would never ask me that. And that's kind
Those-
of how it feels like with MJ, where it's like she's going out knowing that people are going to ask about it, but it's like it puts her in such an uncomfortable situation that it's like
Yeah,
it's difficult, and it's like obviously, Tommy knows how much Shaw's was a part of their life, that it's like, basically Shaw's is back on, so, like,
right,
we're back in this now, like, this
right.
isn't like
This is a check that we're talking about. So maybe
yeah,
fake it.
yeah,
I don't care about no damn elbow bump with Adam. Listen, me and Reza, and it's also like that's like if my partner wasn't getting along with Aaron, like that would be a huge
yeah,
problem for me. Like that is my ace boon coon. So you can have your feelings, but if we're also going to work together, have to figure out how to put them away. And then you're definitely not going to be calling me names and teaching my son to be disrespectful at the same time.
no, and, like, and so I think somebody mentioned that, Tommy's mom passed away when he was really young, so you can tell, like, the way that he had to, continue on with life with nobody else to help him, but
So
it's
it's
also, like
easier for him to kind of cut off people too.
right, but it's yeah, and it's like, I think everyone really hated the way that Shamia and Portia, had their situation this past season of Atlanta, but I feel like you have these people who have so much trauma, and until they have a camera on them, seeing the way that they speak and act and behave towards people magnified, they're not really going to be able to work through kind of what they're doing. And I
Right.
feel like with, going back to Shamia or like even Bronwyn, like we have these serial people pleasers that like they need a platform this big to be able to like hopefully do all the work that they need to be able to like be better emotionally because it just seems to be like a lot of repressed emotions, you know?
It doesn't bubble to the surface
Right.
until like the worst time, which is
Yeah.
when the camera's on, child.
I didn't my boyfriend I was watching, with my boyfriend, and my
Mhm.
boyfriend was like, "Did they bring a baby to the Cast trip?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course they did." Because I have a friend who, wants to get pregnant soon, so she's always threatening about how we're gonna be at Coachella, and she's gonna be pregnant at Coachella because she's like
Bring the
because we had seen a girl last year, she was wearing a shirt, that or, like, she was wearing a sash and it said, "My 10th Coachella," and her bump said, "Baby's first Coachella," so, like,
That's so cute.
that's basically,
I'm
Amir and Natasha with her kids.
exactly, and then they have, like, the babysitter for the important part.
Yeah.
I'm such a bring the baby type friend, like,
Yeah.
I don't really care because 'cause they're gonna have to grow up with us anyway. Like, I mean, because we're not bringing them to the club. That's my
Yeah,
niece, my nephew, my god baby. So, and you don't want to leave your friend out. And that's like the number one thing I hear from, I would say parents, but it's not. It's never fathers. From mothers is that like, oh, my friends basically don't realize that I'm a person who still wants to go out and get invited to things because I have a child, and I understand, like weddings and stuff. I don't want to see no children at weddings.
yeah,
But like when we're going like on a trip, you can bring the baby, and then when we go to the excursions or the dinners or whatever, just have like a
look,
babysitter or you let the daddy stay home.
the grandma's a baby, like,
Exactly, the grandma's baby. Like that's pretty much it. But I can't wait for this next episode coming up because I have
yeah,
to see the whatever is
aftermath.
going on with Gigi and Sky and also Dennis at that table and just a lot of things coming. It's as good as The Valley, you guys, and I'm loving it. So,
I enjoyed it more than the Valley because it took me a little bit to get into the Valley, especially
mm,
with Jax and
right.
Brittany. Just primarily Jax, but
Yeah.
I I know that they're gonna go to the gutter at some point because they have known each other for so long, and I know that that is kind of what was going on before they went off air, but it's like, I'm ready to see the rest of the group. Like I
Right.
said, I really enjoy Amir and Natasha. I want to see how their relationship is gonna continue to grow. The other 2 couples, which would be Sky and Bombshot, I think
Yeah.
is who she's with.
Uh,
Those 2 couples, them not sleeping together is worrisome. I know
That's
that,
sleep divorce.
like, 'cause there's a difference, I think, where like, I have heard of couples where they'll have their own room.
Yeah.
This but this doesn't seem like we have our own room, like,
No.
she has her own room, he's still in the other room, like,
She's disconnected completely, I feel.
yeah, and I'm just like, "That's really sad," and it kind of gives me a little bit of, like, Morgan and Kyle, where it's like Sky and Tannen ultimately just like whatever is lacking in the relationship, they will find it elsewhere. Because like ultimately, what more would you want than to be able to have someone that you can be candid with, talk openly about whatever frustration you have, go and have fun, go travel, have drinks, have beautiful
Yeah.
dinners. Like that's pretty much a partner, but like other than like the other needs, but it's like they're able to do have their own little relationship and, find solace in each other.
Yeah, exactly. And I love friendships like that. I just wish that, their marriage could be better because in my opinion, that is just that's sleep divorce. It's not like he's just snoring and you gotta leave or whatever. Like I saw this couple and it was obviously on TikTok, but like they always before they go to sleep, they cuddle together, they have an
Mhm.
intimate, like they read together or whatever, they have time together or whatever. And then when it's actually time to go to sleep, that's when they go to the other room, and I can do that because I kinda want that own I want
Yeah,
my own bed, I want my own room. It's hot, I live in Florida,
yeah,
get out my face. Um, and then with Tanina and Greg having girls' numbers, talking
yeah,
about, "Oh, I just got her number," because she was just like, "Oh, do you wanna go to the afters?" And then the girls texting him overnight. No, no,
and he's equating that to her going out to dinners with people in Beverly Hills, and it's
be for
like, and some guy might, like, look at her or come up to her, and it's you're
that's
just
not
telling
it.
on yourself, first of all, and it's like, regardless of the fact, like I wouldn't wanna be giving my number to anybody, and you shouldn't be giving your number to anybody, like, even if you felt pressured, like, if you're in a group of friends, somebody else can give them their number. You're not the only one with a working phone. This is a Colorado. You're not Angel with the only service in the group. Like, somebody else can give them their number or, just give them somebody else's Instagram. If you don't wanna give them your number, somebody can DM somebody
It's
else.
not hard to say no.
Yeah,
Just be like, "Hey, no, I can't give you my number, but what's your Instagram?" Or I'll take your number down and then never hit them up again. Like
right.
that there's nothing hard about that. So yeah, they give me Michelle and Jesse a little bit, but with like less toxicity.
Yes, and at least Jesse was a little bit more handsome.
I'll give him that, even though I hate to give him anything because
Yeah.
I drag Jesse. But I love this show. I can't wait for the next episode, which is literally it'll be out by the time this comes out, and I'll be back to talk about it again. Oh, you guys, it is literally T-shirt of the week time, I told Francisco to please come in a graphic tee. We have Mother, can you yes, show the class. Lana Del Rey looking like Mother,
Yep.
10 out of 10.
Very coquette.
Exactly, and those are the vibes. My
Yes.
my T-shirt last week was, Remy the Rat from
Yes.
Ratatouille. Very important to me, lore, Disney, Pixar.
Have you ever done one of those movie theater dinner experiences? I know that Samaj had done one in New York where they like play the Ratatouille movie in the
I
back and
want
they serve you like
so bad. I can't
yeah,
find it in South Florida. You know, I can find almost everything else, but I cannot find that in South Florida. I think they did it maybe for Harry Potter, and that's during Christmas time usually, but I need them to do it like a Disney theater experience.
yeah.
Like, that is everything. I would love to do that, especially because I follow those pages. I forgot what page it was, but there's this page that specifically, like, she made the cheese from the Goofy movie, like the
Yeah.
cake from Matilda, the food from Other Mother on Coraline. I love those pages that do that. Like, that's just so me core. This week I have they were robbed, and I want to apologize because I thought that last year, they didn't get their things because they were gonna come in the second movie, and the second movie was going to allow them to sweep. Instead, and now that I can say this, Wicked 2, I liked it, but it was not like the first one. It did not give me the feeling of the first one. Maybe I'm a fair weather person, like, I just like the fun parts of movies, and maybe that's why I didn't like it, but they completely snubbed this entire season. They're not nominated for Oscars or anything. So in conjunction with that, my graphic tee is Miss Elphaba, honey, and
Ah,
Wicked. And this
I
is
love it.
oh, I went okay. This is from specifically Wicked for Good. As you can see, her hat is a little bit
Yes.
blue. She got the flying monkeys, and she has. There's no place like home. And I apologize because I really thought y'all was gonna sweep this year. I don't know when they're gonna get their chance to get an Oscar again, but hopefully it's sooner rather than later. And
Well,
you
you
know,
never know. It seems like Ariana Grande is trying to audition for the Audrey Hepburn. I know that she did that
that can be
recent
hers.
the recent magazine cover. I think it was Vogue, but she looked very Audrey Hepburn-esque.
I would love to
Um,
see it.
and Cynthia Erivo is just absolutely amazing in all that she does. That it's like there's gonna
Hers
be
would
more
have been an EGOT
opportunities.
though, I think, wouldn't it have been? Because I
Oh,
know she has
well,
uh,
see, like she's so close, and it's like this isn't gonna be the last big thing she's gonna be in. That it's like,
it's just unfortunate because I was just so sure because everyone was freaking out last year. They were like, "Why didn't Wicked win?" I'm like, "Guys, Wicked can't win 2 years in a row. To wait until the second one, it's gonna be even better." And then I saw it and I'm like, I don't really like a lot of conflict. And then it ended up being everyone didn't really put it like that. But I still like Wicked for Good. I'm sorry, it's still 8, okay? But yeah, that was T-shirt of the week. I would like to end by asking you, what else are you watching currently?
currently, I am watching Fallout on Apple TV. It's a very dystopian show. I know that it's based off of a video game. My boyfriend really likes it. It's pretty cool. It's a really fun, like, it's a really good show. I think people should check it out if you haven't already. We just also got done catching up on The Good Doctor. I know that's been out forever, but it's like we
I'm
got
like,
back into
you
it, and
finished the
it's
whole series.
no, it's like I because we were late in that one. And then Nobody Wants This with Kristen Bell and Liam Meester's husband. That's a really cute show. I think it really shows a lot of the nuances of starting a relationship and all the things that you don't, say or not say, and just
Mhm.
like how they affect the beginning stages and how like you go from like situationship to in a relationship.
Yeah. I love Nobody Wants This. I liked the first season better than the second
Mm.
season, but I did love that Leighton Meester was on the 2nd season, so I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hanging in the corner with your 5 best friends." I was like,
Yeah, like,
"Yes."
Cobra Starship should have come out for sure.
Yes, exactly, that's what they should have had, yeah. Maybe that would've gave it a little bit more oomph, but I still love the show. They've been renewed, it's really good. If you like that, I really want you to watch Running Point. Did you watch
Okay.
Running Point with Kate Hudson? I think it's Kate Hudson, yeah. Watch Running Point, it's really good. The guy from, Insecure, Lawrence from Insecure, he's on there. Um Chet Hanks is on there, which is either a positive or a negative depending on how you feel about him, but he plays basically himself if he was a basketball player. It's a comedy, it's really funny, it's a very easy, I think 8 to 10 episodes, and they also, it's just I want you to watch it, so I'm not gonna tell you too much about it, just watch it.
Okay. Chet Hanks, I think, can only come out in the summertime. I think that's, like, the only time he's able to come out. And then Tell Me Lies, I haven't watched that, but my nail girl did recommend that to me, and then the fact that you went out to New York, it's definitely on the list of things to watch.
Yes, put it on the list, honey, put it on the list, and if you could tell people to watch anything, whether it's Bravo related, not Bravo related, anything that you want them to watch, what would you recommend?
Uh,
Like, even if you're just watching it now or you recently watched it, or even if it's one of your all-time favorite series, because right now I'm making Raven watch Vampire Diaries, so
okay. I used to watch Vampire Diaries back when it was on the local channels with CW, years ago,
oh, yeah,
but to invoke, the energy of Jassy a little bit, I have been watching Sheena's bachelorette party in anticipation for my bachelorette party that will be coming years to come, but,
yeah,
just, like, the joint bachelorette and, like, how much of a shit show it is, like, just rewatching the way that Sheena, like, was with the group, I it's so funny to see, like, hindsight because I never really gone back to watch Vanderpump Rules, like, I watched it when I first started watching it in
you're
college,
right,
but it's like I never went back, kind of the way that people watched it over the pandemic, they got a refresher, but it's like even when she got, like, engaged and Lisa had a party on Beverly Hills and Brandy was there, and, like, the entire time Sheena's, like her hand is, like, on her face with her ring showing to be like, "Yeah, Brandy, like, I have a big rock, like, I'm engaged." And then
right.
Brandy's like, "Congratulations." She's just like, "Thanks." And she's, like, trying like she feels like she's such a badass, and it's like, "Sheena, like, your tooth was great, like, a few months ago, like, calm it down." And it's yeah, there's
Wow, what a time. Yeah, I haven't. You know what? I haven't watched that, like, the old episodes in a while. I watched, like, I rewatched the newer ones to see the whole Raquel thing unfold. Like, I wanted to see, like, where she turned
yeah.
from,
No,
like, Bambi-eyed bitch airhead to, like, someone who ended up sleeping with her best friend's boyfriend and fucking in
yeah.
bed, which was a lot, but that's another day, child.
No,
Um,
I feel like I just keep getting edits on TikTok about, like, Katie Maloney to, like, Lana Del Rey songs, so then I'll be like, "Oh, like,
he
let
was
me go
right.
back to that." Yeah, let me go back to that. Or, like, I saw a clip of Raquel and Lala having a sit down, and Raquel is like, "I don't like, you can question my character all you want, but you can't question my intelligence. Like, I'm gonna take my chai, and I'm gonna go." I forget and she's like like, she's too funny that I'm just like, "You are so oblivious, this is too good." But, yes, Vanderpump Rule all Vanderpump Rules, like, just whatever comfort shows that comfort seasons. I love watching, New York, the old New York, like, the Miami trip to New York, You're Insufferable, like, Cabaret, like, that's another, like, a very comforting season trip for me, but just finding any solace that you can right now. These times are just so scary and so frustrating.
Very. Well, I have had the best time having you
Me
on.
too.
It like, it is long overdue, and I knew
Yes.
that definitely have a good time because we
Yep.
always do in the DMs, and, like, it's just been so great having you. So tell the people where they can find you, especially on TikTok, because I'm telling you, if you wanna follow someone on TikTok, it's gonna be Fransisco.
Thank you so much, Kaya, for having me on. It's been an honor. I love chatting with you. I do have, a few Bravo friends around me that I've gotten to watch a lot of these shows, but it's like you are a different level of like in the weeds in the know that it's like it's refreshing to talk to someone who's really in, in the comments and everything when it comes to a lot of these shows. You can follow me on Instagram at Paco Javier. I will send my Instagram handle over to Kaya and follow me on TikTok as well, Paco Javier. I hope that we can remain on TikTok for the time being. I'm sure there will be another platform that will pop up that we will all migrate to, but for the time being, Instagram and TikTok is where I think we're going to live. And Threads, I'm going to try to get into Threads. We'll see.
Get into Threads, heifer.
Yes.
Thank you so
Okay.
much, and
Thank
thank you
you.
guys for listening,
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
you guys have a good day. I will be back very, very soon, and, yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye, guys.